Feeling overwhelmed. Everything comes at you at once. It's this call, it's that situation, it's this, it's that. It's going to drive you nuts if you don't take charge of this. Hey guys, Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. I wanted to discuss with you my top 15 tips for productivity as we move into 2021. Tip number 1, time is our most valuable and scarcest resource. Once it's gone, it's gone. Time is life. And when we realize there are only 1,440 minutes in each day, we start to realize the importance of that 5 or 10 minutes wasted here and wasted there. Never let people rob you of your time. Use it wisely. Tip number 2, identify your most important task and do it first. This is a biggie. It's really easy to get distracted and get wrapped up in other people's energy. When other people are really, we call that the squeaky wheel, when they're really pressing you to get something done, you need to pull back and assess the situation. What is it that I really need to be working on right now? And you need to attack that first. One of the best strategies is early in the morning when your cognitive ability is at its height. That first 2 hours or so, that's your most productive and creative time. Utilize that time wisely and start to build on your business and not just get stuck working within your business. Tip number 3, work from your calendar, not your to-do list. Now, we need a list of things that we have to get done, but did you know that if you work from a to-do list, a full 41% of the items listed never get attended? You see, the to-do list is a graveyard of items that are important but not urgent. Therefore, they tend to get swept under the rug for another day. If you really want to get something done, you need to pick a day, a time, and a duration of time in which you can focus and get that task done. Start to live from your calendar, not your to-do list. Step number 4, to beat procrastination, you got to beat your future self. Guys, we're all guilty of this. And a good example of this might be something like this. Let's say you decide to work out every morning. If you know that you tend to hit that snooze button, put the alarm clock across the room. You're beating your future self by making yourself get up out of bed and hit the off button on the alarm. That way, you already got out of bed, you beat your future self on that. You want to take it to the next level, put the tennis shoes beside the bed. You want to take it to the next level, go ahead and put your workout uniform on and sleep in that the night before. Do what you got to do to beat your future self. Now think about how you can apply that to work where you force yourself to be accountable to the activities that you have predetermined need to be done. Tip number 5, and this is a really big one for Pete, there will always be more to do. Guys, don't be one of those people that works 12, 14, 16 hours a day at the expense of who? Your very own family. That is important too. Listen, it will always be there tomorrow. Let's get focused on the task at hand. We haven't allotted the time to get this stuff done. We do the best we can do, and once we get tired and once it's time to go home, we go home. It'll be there waiting on you tomorrow. Tip number 6, always carry a notebook. Always carry a notebook and be jotting your ideas down. This gives you time to collect your thoughts, organize them, and be more structured as you move forward in the different tasks. Always carry a notebook and always be taking notes. Tip number 7, control your inbox. Guys, email is one of those things that feels like you're being productive, but it's really a waste of time in most cases. Take your alerts, turn them off, and check your email at a scheduled time. It could be 3 times a day, 5 times a day. It really depends on the nature of work that you're doing. If you're in the field and you're running a service call, you turn that thing off. You go in, you be in the moment on your service call so that you maximize the opportunity, you maximize the employee or the customer experience, and you give everything that you can, and there'll be time to review that email once you're in your vehicle and you're doing your paperwork. It's a proven fact that those alerts are like, they release dopamine. It's a bit like Pavlov's dog, the ringing bell. He'd ring the bell every time it was time for the dog to eat, and every time the dog heard the bell ring, he'd start to salivate. This is not healthy, guys. We got to take control of this. So control your inbox and all those other alerts out there too. Tip number 8, Schedule and attend meetings as a last resort. Guys, meetings can be a huge time bandit. One of the things that you definitely want to do is reserve those early mornings when you're at your cognitive best for creative work. And then for the collaborative work, we can schedule that kind of stuff in the afternoon because we want to take advantage of your peak performance mindset, which is always best in the morning. Now, if you do have to say yes to a meeting, say no to a long meeting. Keep it brief, to the point, and make sure that your time is not wasted. Number 9, say no to everything that doesn't support your immediate goals. Guys, this isn't being rude. It's just knowing your goals and your values and filling your schedule with those tasks that support that. Just realize that saying yes to certain things means saying no to others. We only have so much time. So never say yes to somebody based on what they want. You've got to say yes based on what's best for your vision, your goal, and your values. Number 10, follow the Pareto principle. If I said that right, that's the old 80-20 rule. So we know that about 80% of your productivity comes from about 20% of your activities. This is true throughout life. And so what are those 20% activities that we really need to stay focused on and get done every day in order to produce the 80% results that we have to continue to move forward? Number 11, focus on your unique strengths and passions. Remember the power of delegation, right? As you're focused on the things that you need to be focused on, you're gonna have to let go of that perfectionism and allow others to do it. If they can do it 80% as good as you, that frees you up to work on things that are your strength, that are your passion, and allows you to move your operation forward that much better. You gotta let go of that perfectionism and delegate. 80-20, don't forget that one. Number 12, batch your work with recurring themes. This is really hard to do when you're small, but you're gonna have to do it in time segments. As you delegate work to your team, try to batch that work into common themes so that they can stay focused and get things done. It's a bit like specializing, but you may have to specialize in periodic times, but the point is, if we're all over the place, we can get scatterbrained and get nothing done. Get focused, stay on one theme, and allow your team to do the same thing. You can even batch those themes into days. You can have focus days, you can have buffer days, and you can have free days. And all of this is important as we maintain this balance. So when you're focused on something, you do not allow any distractions, and you focus until that activity is accomplished. On your buffer days, you can go in and handle emails, field emails and calls and return calls and all this other stuff. And this will allow you to still accomplish what you have to do without taking away from your focus. And finally, your free days, hey, that's family. That's important too. You got to recharge the batteries, and you got to remember why we do what we do. Number 13, if you can do a task in less than 5 minutes, don't put it off. Do it immediately. Now, this comes down to the touch it once principle in paperwork or in any process within your company. If you see that it can be done and it only takes 5 minutes to do it, go ahead and do it. Let's get it done, get it out of the way. Number 14, routinely use early mornings to strengthen your mind, body, and spirit. Guys, this one is the most overlooked by our industry. We roll out of bed, grab that coffee, and go running in there trying to tackle the world. But the number one productivity tip from successful people that have been interviewed was this. It's what I do with that first hour of my day related to these 3 elements that directly influences the productivity for my entire day. Start the day right, put the discipline in place, and do this first because it matters. And finally, number 15, productivity is about energy and focus, not time. We've talked about removing those distractions. We've talked about getting focus and getting it done. And we've also talked about the steps in resetting. It is better throughout the day, and this is a proven fact, to get focused on a task for an allotted amount of time, get it done, and then reset. Take a break, go drink some water, do a little bit of stretching and exercise, some breathing, and then move on to the next task. This will give you balance, particularly if you started your morning right, and it will give you the energy that you need to focus on the next task at hand. So I hope these 15 tips have helped you out as you're moving through your day. And maybe you're going to run into some situations where you realize, wait a minute, Pete said not to allow that. So I'm going to disallow that and see if it doesn't give you the peace of mind and the focus that you need in order to have a more productive year this year. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. I'm out. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.